It is good to be home. The Bears won handily. I've got some amazing friends that I haven't seen in a while who are gathered here. Our senators, Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth. You got folks like your next Attorney General, Kwame Raoul. Your next representatives from Illinois, Sean Casten and Lauren Underwood. Your next Lieutenant Governor, Juliana Stratton. And you've got our next governor, J.B. Pritzker. Now, I was thinking on the way over here that it was 10 years ago tonight that we had a small event in Grant Park. And you had just elected me the 44th President of the United States. And I remember it was an extraordinary night. You remember the weather was like balmy. It was like 65. And the mood was one of coming together. I remember looking out over the crowd with this extraordinary sense of gratitude. Because the victory didn't belong to me, it belonged to you. That's right. It belonged to a movement that had been made up of rich and old, and poor, and young, and black, and white, and Latino, and Asian, Native American, gay, straight, Democrats, Republicans. It was a movement of Americans that believed we all had something to contribute, that we all had a story worthy of being told, that we all deserved a shot at our American dream. And when the cynics said we couldn't, we said, yes, we can. And that night we said, yes, we did. And look, we didn't know exactly what challenges would come when we began that journey together, but here's what we knew. We knew we could get through those challenges the same way that this nation at its best always has, with that unconquerable American spirit that says we're in this together, that we rise or fall as one nation, as one people. Now, a lot has happened since then. And as I've been traveling around the country, I know that there are people who sometimes think, is that still there? Is that spirit still with us? Is it still true? And I am here to report to you today that that remains the abiding spirit of the American people. Kindness is still out there. Generosity is still out there. Hope is still out there. We just have to stand up and speak for it. You get to vote. in what might be the most important election of our lifetimes, maybe more important than 2008. Because America's at a crossroads right now. There is a contest of ideas going on right now about who we are and what kind of country we are going to be. Health care for millions is on the ballot. A fair shake for working families is on the ballot. And most importantly, the character of our nation is on the ballot. And we've been at crossroads like this before. Throughout our history, there's been a contest of ideas. And the good news is that historically we have made the right choice, chosen our better selves. Sometimes it's taken a little longer than it should have. But eventually, we abolished slavery. We overcame a Great Depression. Eventually, women won the right to vote, and workers won the right to organize. And we had workers' rights and women's rights and civil rights and LGBT rights and immigrants' rights. But you know what? All that stuff, all those choices that broadened the scope of our Constitution to include all people, not just some. That didn't happen because we all just sat there and waited for it to happen. It didn't happen just because a bunch of politicians said, you know what, I decree that good things shall happen. It happened because ordinary people did extraordinary things. It happened because some housekeeper was cleaning up after somebody else and doing somebody else's laundry and looking after somebody else's child, decided, you know what, I'm going to walk instead of ride the bus until I get rights. It happened because some coal miner somewhere said, you know, I'm tired of seeing all my friends die because there aren't any safety regulations. I'm going to take the risk to go out there and organize a movement for change. It happened because some gay man said, you know what, I'm tired of being in the closet. I'm going to go ahead and be myself so that people know that I'm worth something. I've got dignity too. The point is, it didn't happen because folks sat around on the couch. It happened because we mobilized and organized and voted. And in the closing weeks of this election, of course, we have seen repeated attempts to divide us, not bring us together. Rhetoric designed to turn us on each other. This is a very old playbook. It's the playbook that's been running often in U.S. history and world history. It's a playbook where the privileged want to protect their power, so they'll say whatever they can to protect their power. They'll do whatever they can to preserve their privileges, even if it hurts the country, even if it puts people at risk. Except when you vote Illinois, you can reject that kind of politics. When you participate in the political process, you can be a check on bad behavior. When you vote Illinois, you can choose hope over fear. When you vote, you can choose a bigger, more prosperous, more generous vision of America where all of us, whatever we look like, used to pray, whatever your last name is, however your ancestors came to these shores, you are part of the process of shaping the course of this country. For. That's what the candidates who are running on the Democratic ticket in Illinois stand for. That's what you can vote for on Tuesday. Now, look, progress never comes without a fight. Every time we have pulled ourselves closer to our founding ideals, that all of us are created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The status quo pushes back. So you win the right to form a union. Somebody out there is going to try to bust your union. You win the right for a higher minimum wage. Congress decides we won't raise it for a decade. You win health care for people, somebody tries to take away health care for people. Don't boo, vote. Republicans don't care about your boos, but they care about your vote. And by the way, that's another way they try to push back. You win the right to vote, they try to make it hard for you to vote. They try to disenfranchise folks. And it's interesting, by the way, you know, we saw, I will, just relax. I got some hype man over here, just settle down. Look, I think it is interesting. Why is it that you've got one party that is always trying to discourage people from voting? I mean, I have to tell you, look, I really disagree with Republican ideas on a whole bunch of stuff. You never heard me say or do something designed to prevent them from voting. I always encourage them. They should vote. They should participate. Everybody should vote. I want everybody voting. If you don't agree with me, you should still vote.